yeah, we ain't gonna go too deep into that.
My life be like, yeah. My life be like,
hey guys, it's your girl Eb, and I am back with another video. And today, I know y'all are looking at the title like, sis, what is he talking about? Plain and simple, straight to the point, y'all. Things that I wish I knew before having sex. It's just that simple. This is not a vulgar conversation. This is just me really being honest about the things that I wish I knew before I became sexually active. Before we get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that notification bell to be notified anytime I post a new video. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number one, God created sex within the boundaries of marriage to protect us. Growing up, I never really had a sit-down spiritual conversation on what sex was, what it was for. I just thought it was just pleasurable, and out of respect, it was supposed to be done like within marriage, like meaning that you are old enough to partake. I believe that's what I thought it was. Like, you wait until marriage because you're old enough. That kind of don't make sense, and that's totally wrong. And as I grew in my relationship with God, I gained more understanding on what sex was actually for. Sex was made for marriage, for procreation. Please keep in mind that God created sex. It's supposed to feel good, it's beautiful, like nothing's wrong with sex, but he put it within the boundaries of marriage to protect us. I didn't really know that growing up. And growing up, I used to say I'm gonna wait till I'm married to have sex for the first time. And then I get to the age where my hormones was raising, so that plan didn't really go well. I'm sure some people could relate though. Growing up, all we heard was, don't have sex. That's it, don't have sex. There was no why we shouldn't have sex, an explanation on, you know, how deep sex is, how dangerous sex is. Like, we ain't had none of that. It was just a don't have sex. Okay. Why not? As children, as young adults, as teenagers, we understand when you say don't do something, but we want to know why. We want an explanation. Why shouldn't I do this? What are the pros and cons of doing this? How damaging is this really? Like, that's what we want to hear. We don't want to know, don't do it because you shouldn't do it. Like, what's the reasoning? Now, if I had known it's to protect you, then maybe I would have been a little bit more cautious. But nonetheless, now I know. And now I'm married, so it kind of really don't matter. Number two, soul ties are real. I know there's always a debate on social media about it. I ain't really had to debate nothing. In my understanding, to my knowledge, and based on my experience, soul ties are real. I am telling y'all, and soul ties are dangerous. Like, basically, if anybody is watching this video and you don't know what a soul tie is, it is basically just a spiritual connection that you have when you have sex with someone. You are spiritually connected, spiritually bonded. And I feel like one of the reasons for this is because when you have sex with someone, in the eyes of God, you've created a covenant. You've married that person. And the reason why it's like that is because when you have sex for the first time, it's supposed to be when you're married. And women usually shed blood the first time that they have sex. That is what creates the covenant between us and God when it comes to marriage. Look at it like this. Say you have sex with someone you know you shouldn't have, or you have sex before marriage, fornication, whatever you want to call it, and you weren't an angry person before, and then you have sex with someone and they were an angry person, and now all of a sudden you are just angry all the time and you don't understand. Maybe that's that soul tie. It is no bueno. Or like, you'd be sitting in the room, you know, just chilling, and then like your spirit just gets off, and then you look and it's somebody that you slept with, that you had like the most awful experience with. Like, they just standing over there and you just want to leave at this point. Like, you can't even stomach staying in the same room with them. Like, soul ties are real. Soul ties are powerful, and they take a lot to be broken. Like, a lot of things Like you need to pray and fast off of you, like these connections with these people that should have never been connected with you in the first place. That's so crazy. And that kind of still takes me back to the first point about like God putting it within the boundaries of marriage for your protection. Like he wanted to protect us from connecting ourselves spiritually to so many different people, so many different personalities. But no, y'all, we don't like listen and we want to sit down and cry, but God, I thought he was, God just looking down like, my child, you ain't even supposed to be doing that anyways. So I'm gonna comfort you though, but you should have known. Nobody told me about soul ties, how deep they were, how real they are, how crazy they can make you, y'all. Number 3, sex clouds your judgment. I have seen, heard of, talked about, been in so many toxic situations where you know, the person knows, we all know that that connection should not be, like that relationship need to end, that friend with benefit relationship, the situationship, whatever you want to call it, needs to end, but the sex is literally clouding your judgment. You don't even know, like y'all argue and you know like it's done, like they just toxic, they so bad for you, and then y'all have makeup sex and then boom, I'm gonna stick beside them.
And that's what you're gonna settle for.
I'm gonna stick beside them.
No ma'am, no sir. Sex outside of the context of what God created it for is so damaging. It's like the most toxic glue. It'll mess you up and it clouds your judgment. It clouds your judgment of character. It makes you ignore all the red flags. You see so many red flags, blue flag, green, orange, yellow, whatever color flag you want it to be. So many signs of God and the Holy Spirit trying to tell you, hey, don't go down this road, my child. And we don't listen to that. We just go ahead, make it do what it do, and now our brain all kapunkel up, and we don't know how to leave that person alone. It just makes no sense. Like, sex makes it honestly hard for you to just pick up and leave somebody, especially if it's good. Like, I'm gonna be very transparent with y'all. Especially if it's good, it's something that you never experienced before. The person is good looking and you love them and all this other stuff. It clouds your judgment. Like, you don't have common sense when it comes to somebody that you're sexually active with that you just don't know how to leave alone, and you know they're toxic for you. You know they like bringing you down. You know they putting your spirit down. Like, you know they hindering you from your relationship with God, but because the sex so good, you don't know how to leave. I feel like sex needs to be addressed in the church more, because young adults, young kids, I say we, but they want to understand it's not enough just to tell somebody, tell your kids, tell your nieces and your nephews, hey, don't have sex. Why not? Explain why. Explain what God created sex for. Why he made it within the boundaries of marriage to protect us. These things are okay to speak to in the church and to speak about with your kids and speak about in the church. This stuff is like okay. And I feel like not enough churches and not enough parents are like addressing it. And that's why we have so much damaged and hurt people because of bad sexual relationships that just ruin us physically, mentally, and emotionally. Like, it's just not okay. So I don't know if any parents are watching this. I don't know if any parents will come across this. I don't know if there are people who didn't know some of this either. I don't know, but sex is good. Sex is okay. God created it, but we need to understand what it was created for. Why did he create it, and who he created it for? And once you have that understanding, everything makes a lot more sense. It's okay, you're gonna have hormones, you're gonna have some sexual feelings that you don't understand. You may accidentally or on purpose be exposed to some things, pornography and stuff like that, which pervert what sex really is. Like, that happens, but we need to be able to have more adults around that know what sex is, understand what sex is, understand who God is and why he created it. That way we can teach the upcoming generation how to properly handle sex on the whole. That's all I got for y'all today. I hope this video was, you know, informative to some people. If you could relate and you made it this far, y'all put a white heart. That is now my favorite heart. Put a white heart down below. Also, y'all can let me know any other topics or anything else that you guys would like to see me touch on this channel. But until next time, your girl Eb is out.